are so back. I think it takes about a minute and a half or something like that for it to register on my channel page. So I'm gonna have to wait it out. You know, one thing that can break, I think, the appear command is when will spawn is false. It ups the spawn ID and yeah, it ups the spawn ID, but it doesn't add a null finalize. So that's why we can't lift enemies. I'll just go to the piece of code that's doing this section instance. So get entity by IDX, right? It should be somewhere over here. Get entity, right? So over here we can't do a straight lookup because of this. Return entities of I. This IDX should be just, you know, it should just store it directly. So in the register entities add this register is only being called on finalize. Yeah, over here. So what we can do is will spawn. You can just register a null here. So say for example, if this was a chance to spawn and it didn't spawn, then what would happen is I think this flat wall light is a little bit out of place right now. I was listening to that song by Tyla, I think her name is Chanel. Dude, so good. Oh, that song is so good. Some sacred geometry, just to enjoy some high valence art on the walls. What were we testing? Okay, let's test this over here. Okay. Well, that's a lot of spawns. How about we just? Wow, this place is a mess. Bruh. At 6, add another section. Now let's try some magic here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna spawn a gunner. Okay, and we're gonna make this appear 1. Okay, we'll spawn another gunner, and over here we will do chance 50. Chance 1. Okay, this 1% chance that it'll spawn. This should just simply not fuss about it. Okay, I have to test if it does show up in the case that it is valid. If it does spawn, Chance 50, invisible. Okay. It should not throw an error. It should just spawn. Is it spawning at all? I want to test once more. There. Okay, so that's working. I'm trying to think of a situation where they should always be in order, man. Like, there's no way that this doesn't work. It can't be by index. So some of these are calling finalize spawn. Like, for example, over here, what is this? The matrix. Now, this finalize spawn is going to it's going to do this. And this will mess up the this will mess up our if spawn type is not set, then it's happening on the side. I need to finalize spawn. Why am I doing finalize spawn? I'm finalizing spawn to call stage on prefabs, swapping out enemies that might be the wrong behavior and placing special, right? So this spawn ID ++ is already happening after I place. It's tough. We basically want to like not even register these enemies if the spawn type is not set. If E is not equal to null, E.id is spawn ID. No, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Var in roster is equal to spawn type is not equal to null. Okay. If in roster and E is not equal to null, in roster spawn ID, we can just ++ it here, and otherwise 999. What's up with you? Int to short. Okay, yeah, here. Short. Can we play music? I don't know if we can play music. Sorry, I didn't have the chat up. My bad. Pop out chat. Hi chat. And E.register if and only if in roster. Okay. Here, let's try and break this once. All right. Let's say this is invisible and matrix 10. So what this is gonna do once it spawns is this is gonna spawn an extra enemy. In the current code, because I haven't restarted the game yet. This 0 will try to make this guy appear, and he's actually just going to be on the wrong index. Is the matrix not working? confused. What if this guy was just a shooter? Where is the second spawn? Oh, it's because it's invisible. Oh, I see. Okay, so, right, so this gunner, so if I do this like this, then it'll work. You see, now this is the problem. This is the problem right here. Right now, if I shoot this guy, there you go. You see that this is the issue. Now, we're gonna restart this. All the extra spawns, they will not be in the roster now, and they will be their ID will be just off the count. Level register. We're gonna have a look at this. See now, yeah. Appear 1, apply, save. Now this should work. Let's have a closer look at this bad boy over here. Are you not calling get entity? Why would you not do that? Post process. Let's post process. Yeah, so that appear event happens, right? If you have a look at the entities here, there's just two entities. So the second, the one that the matrix spawns is not here. Let's rerun this, and instead of the matrix, we'll just do chance 50. All right, now so it has spawned this time, so it should appear. All right, cool. Let's try that again. So this time it's null. You see that? Now it won't work. I'm still looping through all of them, which is fine. Going through all the events. If event index, now what I can do is I can just test this event index straight with entities. Where is get entity even being called? Should we do it? Let's do it. So instead of looping through this, let's just keep it here for later. If event.index is greater than entities.count, evt.link is equal to entities of I is equal to entities of if greater than equal to 0, and if it is in range, then only then, else link is null. This is tricksy, but it's a lot cleaner. Return entities of IDX, else return null. All right. Because we are keeping track of the entities that are being spawned, I think it makes sense for it to be more strict. So whenever that fails, I'll know that there's something wrong with the generator, and I will go and fix it. So I'll just watch out for the errors here. Okay, we're still doing the chance to spawn, right? 2. Now that exclamation mark is still showing up because on kill count is greater than 0. Yeah, we can just check this too. Cool. So now I'll know from the exclamation mark if it's going to spawn the enemy or not. Even better. Much, much better. Smith test. Nothing will spawn here. Something will spawn here. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Oof, close. Why is this happening? The coyote time should reset. I think we're doing that, right? Player blah on astral plane on astral end. Oh, agents astral end. Engine dot player dot on astral end. Player on astral end. little bit more hang time, I hope. Oh, I'm not resetting the time at all here. Try reset aerial freeze. MS. Oh, I thought it was 1 second. 500 MS is good, especially when we got the resets going. That should buy the player enough time. A visual indicator for this would be great, but I will wait for when I get that flash of insight. Nice. This is very slow. Cool. Be right back. Yo. Zero. super long. I like how they scramble if you mess up. I think that's smart. What's going on here? Ooh, spicy. That stuff. The projectiles are actually just that slight bit of homing they've got. I like this. This is a really boring level. I think I'm going to delete it. Okay, let's come back to this. Pillars to save and pillars 3. I'm thinking I'll just make a bunch of these and we can sort them later because they're still fun sections. How they're arranged exactly, we can come back to that later. That anchor's gotta go. Nice, more spread out now. Let's see what that anchor looks like. Come on, spawn it for me. Is it not set? It is set. Ah, there you go. Appear to and 0. Let's see if 2 work. 0, 2. Nice. Here's what we're gonna do to make this a little bit more random. Okay. Where were you at? 0, 12. No, 0, 6. Side X 60. Side X 60. Apply. So these will go on the sides, and one of these could be appear in 150. Apply, save. Just to justify some, that relay has gotta go. There's no need for this over here. I'm gonna try these. Alright, let's make it tight. Actually, I don't even need to flip this because it's already flipped. It's auto flipping. I can get rid of this. So 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh wait, is it spamming out because of two? No, it's all good. Alright. It is pretty linear though, but that's fine. We have some waypoints going here. We do. Alright. That's a cool modification. More lights will never hurt. All right. What other mechanics do we want to combine? Like we have chargers, right, that move. We could combine that with the spin. So you have to like shoot them at the right time, at the right distance. But that if any of those tricks are too precise to pull off, then it'll be too difficult. Those kind of levels will have to be their own thing on the side. I discussed that yesterday. Potentially a mode where we have like trick levels. That would be awesome. It's like a coming back to Lovely Planet. It's funny, a friend of mine, when I started working on this game, I was actually in Hong Kong, and I would go co-work with a buddy of mine, and he, like, we were just like, I was jamming, and he was like, bro, have you thought of a version of this game where like the levels are handcrafted? And I was like, At the time, I was very invested in the procedural generation, but now I think we're pretty much halfway. We've got a combination of like handmade levels which are being arranged procedurally, and this other idea of like having trick levels would just be going completely in the other direction. Back to where we started. I would actually love to do that. The only thing is the level generator that I have is a little bit tuned for making lots of short sections together. So if I want to make a level that's like really massive and spread out, then that will be a little bit challenging. I don't want to go in and change the internals too much. So yeah. The game is set up the level generator, the level producer is created in a way where it's defined in a timeline. This is the one that I was showing you before. Loom.cs, like this timeline, this codex, it bakes into a timeline. So I already have another mode set up. This is like the tutorials. So each of these end with a level, right? Like a checkpoint. So if you play tutorial 0, tutorial 1, tutorial 2, and then you fail here, you start at the beginning of this level again. So that's the timeline structure that we have set up. This is the other mode that I was doing, where like every time you finish the level, like the speed goes up. So we could have like short levels, and you could just like race through them and see how far you can go. So like that trick level setup would just be made in a way where you have one level that's, you know, kind of challenging or tough, but once you beat it, you go into like that level, but the speed turned up a little bit. So you could just like run into it and, you know, maximize flow state. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. Let me just text back real quick. I know I'm a little bit distracted. Excusez-moi. Wow, I have to go really far, huh? Damn. So yes, that is a good idea, and I am definitely tempted to have that. Yes. Save as rerun. Let's do the same thing, but this time make it a little bit more random. Okay, let's go out in the open. Let's get some of them sakura trees going. No. Man, that undo feature is so good. My favorite part about this level generator. You know, I've been meaning to line up these trees and see what it looks like. How about we try that now? A tree run. Now we need a reason to set it up this way, so that it makes sense. Yes, the trees have no collision. Don't need that. So you got all these trees set up. Check this out. Trigger appear something. One. Fine. Does that work? No, it won't work. I can't make objects appear out of nowhere. Only enemies and gizmos. And the gizmo, I think, is just the balloon right now. Surprise shooter attack. It's not surprising enough when the appear animation is that long. Now it'll be wide displaced also. Is it wide displacing? I have no idea. Side Y 40, not 4. Save. This will be too jarring now. Yeah, it's too close. How about just 20 units? So it's kind of random between over here. I don't want him to spawn behind the tree though. Should spawn behind the tree too. There you go. Yeah, too close. That's a lot of hang time. Are we digging this? It's too slow. We could do just to distract the player a little bit. Let's do a gunner. 6, 7, 6, 30. Gunner should not be invisible. Should not be invisible. Save. Okay, we have about 30 minutes before I have to go. Just made this a little bit longer, it'll be more easy to understand what is it that is going on here. think this tree is off. Fixed. The can Y command. He just appears out of nowhere. Just a little bit more of a delay there. You know, this would be a perfect time to do the. I love this effect. You hold it and then it goes back, goes on. Vibes. For the sake of variety, it would be very cool to have like if this was like a nice little garden, you know. I've been meaning to add this. Now let's quickly go over the complications involved in this. The flood that we're seeing on the ground, that's set to one material. Every time the biome changes, the environment does this kind of like effect to change the whole environment. So we don't have environments right now that swap out. Like as you're like going through the level, that material will remain the same. One way to do it is to like swap out that material, but I don't want to do that for just this small section. That'll happen when you enter like a section, like a new level that has a new biome. So it'll also convey to the player that okay, yeah, you're now in like a new environment, new realm, new everything. But these sections, I just wanted to feel like you know, like you just walked through a different place that's outside the level, which is where we're at right now. Complication number 2. If we're not doing the flood, then we have to like import a model and render the plane. Now the length of that plane is obviously going to be variable because I want to be able to set how, you know, how big this section is, like we are doing here with this segment. If I had a plane, say for example, defined in Blender, just like a model with a texture on it, and I just scaled it, the problem with that is that if it scales too much, the size of the triangles will be too high, and then the ground will not tessellate properly. Do you feel? So it'll be like this blocky thing. One way to avoid that is just to like tessellate the plane, like pre-tessellate it, which isn't the nicest solution because that's just a lot of wasted vertices. The other way to do it is to just create the plane in the game. Do you feel? Geophil. You know where I'm going with this. Yeah, you do. We have types of segments already, like this. The regular is the regular flood, the open is when there's no walls, the empty is the one we're using right now, so even the floor is not rendered. Blocks are the pillars that we use to kind of occupy the space. The sink is when there's no ground and you fall through it. Trigger is when it's kind of like lifted off of the geometry. This is not even part of the geometry, this is just like it's literally a rectangle. And the trigger picks it up and checks the bounds and just renders, uses it as a collision bounding box. Now, in the same vein, what we're going to do is define another segment type and call it, say, surface. And what we're going to do is when a surface is spawned, we're going to very quickly, generate a new vertex buffer. Now, I don't know how expensive that's going to be. We could like predefine some of them, like we have the trigger, like we have a pool of triggers. We can just it'll still have to generate the geometry. So are we already generating geometry? Very little. We're doing just a few triangles for the collisions. So this will be just a tiny bit more expensive. We could write another system that is like an independent flood that has a bunch of triangles defined or predefined, and just place them in on the surface, and you can define the material on top of it. Which way, Anon? Which way are we going with this? What's the cost of this feature? It's just, I think, 3 hours of writing code. What are the benefits of this? Variety. I need some eye candy, bruh. That's what the game is about. Gotta make it look pretty, make it look fun, make it look exciting. Ooh, I'm out in the garden right now. Or ooh, I'm walking on water. Like ooh, I don't know, space. Could be anything. I think there is a lot of alpha in this idea. To quote my Gen Z bros and female bros and all the 120 gender folks. How do we do this? We're definitely gonna have to make a new segment type. Should we start there? Let's start there. Let's write some code. Let's push this before we make a mess. Mist level changes. Segment types. Segment types. This is, do not modify these, are out directly outside of the generator. Segment type. See, I remember my code base. Shall we? This is going to be tricky because all of these are referenced in the flood fill. I'll have to exclude them like I'm excluding the trigger. Let's write the code, man. Let's write the code. Surface 7. Alright. Max is now 8. I don't think anything was set to max, so we don't have to bother with this. Save. Sync surface. Let's give it a nice different kind of color here. Surfaces can be green. There you go. What happened? Here, green surface. Okay. Let's just see if this much is working yet. Segment type, surface. LFG. Let's freaking go. Okay, now for the tough bit. Floor. Yes, it will be included in the floor, roof, wall. So surfaces will not have a wall. Surfaces will not have a roof. Yeah, basically empty and open. Let's change this to warning generated code. Let's see where you're spitting this out. Alright, there you go. And over here we're just gonna add s is not equal to surface. Alright, cool. Dot trigger. You see, now we're making a mess. This code is already commented out. This code is already commented out. This code is not commented out. This is specifically for triggers, so we don't need to mess with this. Baby steps. We'll get there when we get there. Input. No, this is. These are the. So that trigger is also included here. If it is of type sync or trigger, no, not gonna change this. This code is commented out. Find fill segment. Now this is being pulled in by this is being called by the flood, right? It is being called by the flood, and here it is testing to see if it needs to fill them. Public static bool no fill segment type. No fill will only return if it is equal to trigger or is equal to surface. Yeah, I know what you're wondering here. Empty is filled in the flood. This is only for the flood. If segment.type.nofill, get me out of here. Find segment. Find segment spawn. Now you see over here we're gonna be in trouble. Find segment absolute position. This is for obstacle drop. This is for spawn. So I need to know where I'm spawning. And this function will go in here and it will do find fill segment. You see the problem here? I see the problem here. So we've isolated those. What is this? Find wall segment. Segments of eye. This will also have to be included here, surface, because we don't want walls here. Wait. See, we're making a mess. Find wall segment. So this is when it is looking for a new wall. Should we add a wall here or not? Blocks are adding their own walls. Triggers are not adding walls. Everything else is adding a wall. So empty, open. Yeah, so the surface, let the surface spawn a wall too. Trigger, block, continue. This is the same one we were at right now, right? Wait, this is another one. There is two find wall segments. There is two find wall segments. Gotta watch out for this, bro. Gotta watch out for this. This is not being used anywhere, so what I'm gonna do is comment that. So add section. I am seeing a slight issue here. You know what the issue is? The issue is we have to fill the surface also. It just shouldn't be occupied if it's empty. It shouldn't be occupied like the empty blocks. We messed up. So over here we want to actually include the surface as well. The surface will go in just like empty. It just won't render. Are you ready to do this once more? Let's go back to the start. This is wrong. So basically the triggers are disembodied, right? This will remain as triggers. So here's what we're gonna do, okay? We actually want to make it so that it's like the empty. Okay, so dot empty. Slide logging hours, physics 2D. Okay. Yeah, basically this is just the same as empty, right? It will behave just like the empty. So surface. Do we need to not do this at all? Can we just define it as empty and then set a flag outside on the segment? That would be so much easier. Wipe it clean. Wipe it clean. See, I didn't do the git thing here, and now we're surface. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Segment types dot surface. Alright. Full revert surface. So much for nothing. World.cs. Bruh, just discard all changes. Okay, discard file, discard file, discard file. Okay. Basically, because we have segment ops already, we are going to add a flag here. Okay. What are we gonna call it? We're gonna call it I'll be right back to that. 1 second. Generator segments. Non-section segments intersects and refresh. This is not even required anymore. This is not even working, right? Yeah, it's not working. Let's get rid of this. Segments. So we go through all the segments and we add the new segments here. This is making sure that the segments go in order. Compile segment ops. Now when you compile segment ops, all of these are in the section instance. I don't have flags for the segment. Checkpoint. So you see these segments over here, they don't have flags. They have a type. Should we try this? Should we try setting flags? We can just define like a surface type. And this doesn't need to be section instance dependent. So if in the level it is defined as a surface, every instance of it will have it anyway. So I think that checks out. Just have to make sure that we're copying it over here. Fine. Public int surface is equal to 0. Surface is equal to 0. This is when it's defined loader segment. The loader segment will not have it. And the copy over, we just say surface is equals. Thanks, bro. And in compile segment ops. Compile segment ops. Where is compile segment? Compile segment ops. Okay. Right here, we're just gonna do case ops dot surface break boom s dot surface. Fine, be a short. I lost it again. Compile segment ops surface. Let's just flag this down. Otherwise, you set it to 0. DSL. Oh, if only Google Gemini could make its way into the other IDE surface. 1. Okay. Let's see if we can make it. Oh, look at it. It's line 420. Let's go. All right, over here, surface 1. I'm gonna have to restart this. Surface 2. Apply, save. Now that the surface is picked up in the generator, when the segment is lifted, we're just gonna quickly go through them, check for the ones that are empty, check if the surface is set, and boom, we will spawn another object that will fill up the desired material, and that object can be recycled with the section, and we are in the money. Tree run. Haha. How did you get here? Sections, add section instance, compile segment up. So DSL reg 0 is 2. Push section. Now, just while we're at it, sec dot add segment dot. Okay, let's just calmly wait here for. Can we just see the segment surface 0, surface 0, surface 0, surface 2. Wasn't that so much easier? So trigger is the only one. Failed to save. You know what? Fine. World.cs trigger. Fine. We're all good. now that we have a surface identifier generator. This is just going through all the segments that were added, right? Over here we can just do if segment type is equal to close empty and segment dot surface is not equal to 0. To do spawn surface by segment dot surface material. Those can just be integers for now. We will bother with that later if need be. Right now I can just think about grass. I just want some grass, okay? I just need it to be pretty. Put some flowers over there. Make it look like a nice Zen garden. We're getting there. We're getting there. I've been meaning to add this for a while. Where are we tessellating surfaces? We are tessellating surfaces in the wall renderer or wall renderer. We don't have a wall renderer. Renderer. Any renderer here? Batch renderer, flood renderer, world renderer, flood walls, tessellate, clean. There you go. We could call this and quickly spawn a vertex buffer. Do you think that will be messy? You know, because the other way to do this is to like fork the flood renderer, because right now the whole thing is like one material. Because it's batched. That's the problem. I could have like multiple batches for each material. That would be messy. Messy. Would it be messy? Oh man, now I'm thinking that we can just... I think too much. The flood renderer, if we could just like maintain 4 copies of it. That's messy. Oh dude, that guy's on the building. He's cleaning the building. Daredevil. Careful, bro. I have to bounce now. We'll have to do this later. At least we have the code in. Let me just push this. Alright. Thanks for tuning in. I will call it this time. Maybe I'll come back online later. Infinite